Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to all students. So this is a video lecture regarding topic 3, the relational database model. So let us start the topic. So this is the content of the topic based on our syllabus. First of all, we look at the logical view of data. There's an icon here. So that icon shows the what is relational model. So relational model can be said as uh, usage for data storage and for data processing. And here we say relational model enable programmer to view data logically rather than physically. And a table is the most important component of a relational model, and it resembles a file from conceptual point of view. And by looking at the table, the user will be able to understand the main component of a database. So what is a table? We have started seeing a table from the last topic. So table is two-dimensional. We have row and column of table, and table itself, it is a set of entity occurrences. So meaning that in table as an entity, it has the occurrences, maksudnya kejadian. For example, if you have a student table, so meaning that you have student entity, and in the table, by looking at the table, you know how many students exist in your database by looking at how many that you have, how many rows that you have in the table, because each row represent a record, meaning that each row represent the occurrence of a student. Okay, so the student itself is the entity set in the database. So please read the LA there. It means lecture attachment. Read topic 3.1.1, tables and their characteristics. So again here, a table, two-dimensional, row and column. You can see in the picture, in the figure, row and column. Each table has a row. We also call row as a tuple. That is a single entity occurrence within the entity set. Maksudnya, satu row, satu baris adalah satu kewujudan entity tersebut. If we look at the table in the slide above, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entity occurrences, meaning that 8 students in the database as shown in the table. And then we go to column. So column is attribute, and column has a distinct name. Distinct name bermaksud nama yang khusus, nama yang berbeza, a different name. Okay, each row and column intersect represent a single data value. So as shown in the lecture attachment 3.1.2 are different terms that is used to refer to table, to refer to column, and to refer to row. And by now you should be very familiar with these terms. Okay, still on table and their characteristics, all values in a column must conform to the same data format. Meaning that this, if you read carefully, it talks about column. For example, if you have a student number, so if you look at the table given here, so the data format for the student number here is all number, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. So this column or this attribute will only accept 6-digit numbers. Yeah, and if you look at the fourth column, stu init. Stu init is actually student initial. So student initial can be 0, meaning that can be null, no value. And if it has a value, it will only accept an alphabet, satu alphabet saja. And if you look at the next column, student date of birth, it accepts the data of type date. Okay, each column specific range. Order of the row and column is not important in database. Yeah, how you keep, because the main idea about database in a table is to store, to store the data. Okay, each table must have an attribute or combination of attribute that uniquely identify each row. Yeah, later we will look at this attribute, which is also known as the key attribute. Okay, these are the table and their characteristics. You need to read through. These are important characteristics of a table. If we look in this slide, okay, this slide is a complete slide that shows how do we draw or represent a database. First of all, you write the database name. So there's a question there, what is the database name? So it is mentioned in the slide. CH03 Tiny College. Yeah, and then below the database name, you will, or on top of the table itself, you will write table name. So for this case, we have student table, whereby these are the student table. How many records? So you see there are 8 records, okay, of students. And then how many attributes? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 attributes. And the records are the row and the attributes are the column.